Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wolf Pit with another episode of What Are We Eating? Although it might sound like it, I'm not recording this video from my bathroom. As my bones heal from my accident, it's important I keep my legs elevated at all times. So instead of recording from my normal studio, which isn't really a studio, I'm recording from the comfort of my living room, as comfy as possible with my legs elevated. So if it sounds like I'm recording from a black hole and you hear an echo, I apologize to you, the people. So today, we're going over TGI Friday's frozen 10.5 ounce whiskey glazed chicken and mashed potatoes frozen dinner, which consists of whiskey glazed diced chicken, white meat chicken, and mashed potatoes, which seems like an odd combination of flavors to me. Whiskey glazed chicken sounds good, mashed potatoes sound good, but not together. I want some sort of gravy or different sauce on my mashed potatoes than a sweet whiskey glazed sauce. Well, I'm kind of assuming it's a sweet sauce. Whiskey glazed sauce just sounds sweet to me. Maybe it's good on potatoes. Who knows? Here's the catfish portion of the video. Banquet wants you to believe this is what their whiskey glazed chicken and mashed potatoes is going to look like right out of the box and right out of the microwave. Although it does look good, if you believe that, I have some oceanfront property in Arizona for a great price if you're interested. Out of 103 reviews, the TGI Friday's frozen whiskey glazed chicken and mashed potatoes got 3.8 stars out of 5. That's a pretty favorable rating. Haley gave it the most helpful positive review and said she loved this meal and gave it 5 stars. D gave it the most helpful negative review with 2 stars out of 5 and said TGIF dinner. I'm not sure what D was smoking that day, but they didn't make any sense. TGIF dinner, okay, I get that part, but I'm not sure what they were expecting from mashed potatoes. They said I wish the potatoes didn't mush up like that. Maybe they were watery, or he likes lumpy mashed potatoes like I do. Here's the list of ingredients, and once again, the chicken is a form meat slurry concoction. Anytime you see boneless, skinless chicken breast with rib meat, along with any type of binder like tapioca starch, it's not going to be a full muscle piece of chicken. It's no different than McDonald's Chicken McNuggets. It's just not breaded. The serving size is the whole bowl, which has 410 calories, 10 grams of total fat, 4.5 grams of saturated fat, no trans fat, 80 milligrams of cholesterol, 1,160 milligrams of sodium, 53 grams of carbohydrates, 2 grams of fiber, 26 grams of sugars, and 27 grams of protein. There's only one recommended cooking instructions, and that's in the microwave. Here's our whiskey glazed chicken and mashed potatoes right out of the freezer and right out of the box. And now we peel the plastic back, and then it goes into the microwave on high for 4 minutes. After 4 minutes, we give it a stir and then put it back in the microwave for 1 minute and then let it rest 1 to 2 minutes before serving. After microwaving on high for a total of 5 minutes and resting for 2 minutes, our whiskey glazed chicken and mashed potatoes is ready. So we mixed up the chicken and the whiskey glaze, trying to keep the mashed potatoes out, and then we scooped up a piece of chicken to try first. So into the old pie hole and down the gullet it went. And here's my actual live reaction as I was trying it.
Flavor's not bad. The texture of the chicken's up. It seriously tastes like canned chicken.
Sorry for the F-bombs, people, but that chicken was soggier than your little brother's sock after watching Phoebe Cates in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. If you know, you know. Now let's try the mashed potatoes and see if they're as mushy as Dee said they were. I like the fact that they garnished the mashed potatoes with chives, which is very different than most frozen dinners. So you, the people, know the deal. Into the old pie hole and down the gullet they went. And I'm not sure what Dee was talking about, but these potatoes were pretty much perfect. They appeared to be a little bit dry when I first scooped them up, but once in my pie hole, they were nice and creamy and nicely seasoned. They didn't really need it, but a little bit of salt and pepper and butter would have made them even better. Now I know this is going to drive some people crazy who don't like the food touching, and I'm not really sure if you're supposed to mix this meal together, but I did. So I scooped up a bite of chicken, mashed potatoes, and the whiskey glaze. And the bite was delicious. And believe it or not, the piece of chicken tasted 110% different than the first piece of chicken I tried. It wasn't mushy whatsoever. It was tender yet firm and tasty. So then I did what any socially unacceptable person would do. I scooped up a couple pieces of chicken that were coated in the mashed potatoes and the whiskey glaze. Then I popped the 2 pieces of chicken into my mouth, performed a Stormy Daniel, ingested 1 piece of chicken, and then I did something Stormy would never do. I spit the other piece back out, nice and clean, onto my spoon, so I could retry another piece of chicken solely by itself with no glaze and no mashed potatoes on it to see if it was any good. And indeed, it was good, and again, it was much better than the first piece of mushy chicken that I got. But don't get me wrong, I said good, not great. You could definitely tell it wasn't a whole muscle piece of chicken. And then I gave the mashed potatoes a try by themselves, and again, they were delicious. Overall, the meal was really good. Not great, but good. The chicken ended up much better than it started. The mashed potatoes were nice and moist and creamy, had good flavor, and the whiskey glaze was delicious and not overly sweet. Once everything was mixed together, I didn't think I'd like it with the whiskey glaze in the mashed potatoes, but it was much better than I thought it would be. The frozen TGI Fridays whiskey glazed chicken and mashed potatoes meal wasn't as good as the TGI Fridays whiskey glazed pulled pork and macaroni and cheese, but it was still decent enough to try again or to recommend it for you, the people, to try, which is why I'm giving TGI Fridays whiskey glazed chicken and mashed potatoes a 7 out of 10. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.